Hello there, YouTube. It's your best buddy, Uncle Ben.
Me, Hollywood Steve.
And in celebration of the recent release of Stephen King's It Part 2, we are here to tell you guys the top 5 Stephen King horror book to horror movie horror adaptations that are scary.
Horror. Nailed it.
So, of course, this means for this list we're not including stuff like The Green Mile,
Right.
Stand By Me. Just the scurry stuff, and no screenplay stuff like a creep show either.
That's true, because although that is Stephen King, it's not an adaptation from a book. He wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't count.
doesn't count. Well, we have to start off with the obvious. There's no way you don't know. that
Maximum
this is
Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. Cocaine-fueled.
AC/DC driven.
No, The Shining.
Yeah, of
Stanley
course.
Kubrick's The Shining.
Obviously.
One of the
best.
One of the best movies of all time. Definitely one of the top horror movies of all time.
It captures the essence of the book quite well, because I'll be honest, I've not read all of these books that we're going to be talking about on the list, but The Shining is one that I have read the book and seen the movie like a million times, and even though they are separate entities that do have kind of different identities, I think that they are two halves of the same whole. We talked about our love of The Shining and all its perfection and all the different ways you can interpret it and all that kind of stuff in episode 95 of our award-deserving podcast.
That was a real good episode.
Part 2! Or wait, it would be number 2. Number 2!
We got Brian De Palma's Carrie. Man, if you haven't seen Carrie, where have you been? It's been around since 1970. If you haven't seen Carrie, you might be a redneck.
It's so good,
It
man.
is. It's
a
great.
fantastic one. And that, of course, I think is Stephen King's first published work, right? Carrie?
yeah.
And I've also read this book too, and the movie does a pretty good job of capturing most of the important stuff. There's some differences. There's not that like meteor shower and stuff like that. But it's got all the key plot points, and it is just so perfectly cast. You got John Travolta.
Yep. He's, I mean, one of the most integral characters in the movie, of course.
Absolutely.
Guy who slaps his girlfriend and is a douche. Sissy Spacek, who's amazing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And what's her name that plays her mom? Just does a fantastic
Oh my gosh, she's so
job.
good. I can't remember her name.
Absolutely
I am bad.
amazing, man. Really good adaptation of the book. We discussed it at length on our award-deserving podcast, Dead and Lovely, episode 99.
Yeah.
Be sure to check that out. Rate and review on iTunes.
Piper Laurie.
Piper Laurie is the name of that actress. Next up, we got one that's maybe debatable to call it a horror movie. I think it is psychological horror.
I wouldn't call it a good time, I'll tell you
Nope,
that.
not fun. Misery. Now, if you've never seen the hobbling scene in Misery, you might be a redneck.
Bring it back. Keep going with it.
Yeah. So yeah, the hobbling scene in Misery is still one of the hardest things for me to watch. Considering all the horror movies I've seen in my life, that's saying a lot. Rob Reiner went from This Is Spinal Tap and Princess Bride to Misery.
Yeah, quite a jump in tone and genre, but he does such a great job with it, man. Kathy Bates and James Caan comprise the majority of the screen time in this flick, and man alive, Kathy Bates does such an amazing job of being this creepy, obsessed, but like still thinking that she's meaning well.
Yeah,
like she thinks she's helping.
Yeah, she comes off like chipper and stuff, but it's like you know you've got me kidnapped and tied to a bed, basically.
Yeah.
So, no way you're a happy, nice person.
Numero Quattro is one that I haven't seen, so you're gonna have to tell me about it, Steve. But I know a lot of people really enjoy it. Christine from 1983.
I mean, you put two masters of horror together, Stephen King and John Carpenter, you're gonna come out with a pretty good product.
Recipe for success. We love ourselves a John Carpenter on Dead
John Carpenter, the best. So Christine is about a car that is basically inhabited by a spirit who basically makes the people who drive her fall in love with her despite the fact that she's killing everyone around them.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Sounds like a potent concoction.
The ending of it, I think, is specifically amazing. And I don't want to ruin it for you. The car actually takes on personality. Like, it really does seem to feel like a full-on character in the movie. So
Much like the Green Goblin in Maximum Overdrive.
exactly.
I assume because it's a John Carpenter movie that the soundtrack is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll have to give that one a scope out sometime and join the masses of the cool kids that know how good this flick is. And rounding out the list at numero L50.
Yo, It Chapter 1.
We're talking about the new one, right? Not the TV series.
Yeah, not the TV miniseries. The TV miniseries, the people definitely love it,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Tim Curry, amazing.
amazing in it. Yeah.
Yeah, It Chapter 1, which we're going to be discussing on episode 125 of our award-deserving podcast.
By this point, we will have already discussed it.
Time is irrelevant. Time exists only on the wrist. But anyway, episode 125 of Dead and Lovely is when we talk about It Chapter 1, and it way exceeded my expectations. I am kind of in that rare group of people in our age group that didn't grow up with the TV series. Like,
Yeah.
I only watched the TV series whenever we reviewed it, so I didn't have that whole like childhood of growing up being scared of Tim Curry as a clown and stuff like that.
And that was iconic in those days. But I think that when we're looking back on the 2010s, It Chapter 1 and the new Pennywise are going to be iconic for future generations.
I think so too. I'm pretty sure that with this this iteration of the character of Pennywise, he's kind of installed himself as one of the horror icons among, you know, Leatherface and Freddy Krueger and stuff like that.
Bill Skarsgård, just so good.
And they just did such a good job of capturing that group of friends and their friendships and what it's really like, you know, when you're kids and you're hanging out with your friends and how you shit talk each other.
Yeah.
And you don't talk like you do at home and stuff, you know? They really captured just that old school hangout element and of that group of friends extremely well. And it's scary.
It is.
It's scary.
It really is. So yeah, go check out It Chapter 1. I'm sure there are a bunch, though, that we didn't name that you're all out there thinking, what? What do you mean? Where's Salem's Lot? Where's the
Pet Cemetery?
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
1408.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure that there's probably mostly a lot of people that are really mad that we didn't put Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery is a big one. People love that one. We're just not that into it.
But, you know, I think that a lot of people grew up with Pet Cemeteries, and they had those images of Zelda and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
in
well,
their
that
minds
is legit
haunted them
creepy.
as kids. Yeah. But once again, I didn't. You know, I watched this movie for the first time as an adult, so it just didn't really have the same sway over me. I just saw it for the flaws, like how terrible of an actor that dad is and stuff. Although it's still filled with iconic moments. Oh my god, so bad, dude, so bad. It's still full of iconic moments, and like I said on the podcast, like every horror fan should see it because it's just loaded with iconic stuff. It's worth a watch, but I just don't think it's in the same caliber of excellence as the 5 that we named off.
You can check out our original Pet Cemetery episode 103. And we also did a mini-sode on the new Pet Cemetery, episode 103.5, WIMZ.
That's what I was thinking too. Classic rock. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'd like to know your personal list of your favorite 5 Stephen King horror book to scary horror movie horror adaptations in the comments section below. So be sure to drop your own personal top 5 in the comments, and you guys also be certain to like this video, subscribe to our channel for new videos coming at you every week, ring a ding the bell for notifications every time we put up another slice of fried gold.
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at DeadLovelyPod. You can email us at deadandlovelypod@gmail.com. And most important, you can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/deadandlovely.
Yeah. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time.